What's up, guys? My name's KhaoticK, back at you guys a little bit today, coming at you guys with another The Euphoria of a Substance series. And this will be about GHB / 14 BDO and GBL, Euphoria. And yes, so we're going to be getting into the euphoria of all the substances, and we're going to go over these similarities and slight differences in the onset of the effects. But yeah, I'm going to go over which one is the most euphoric. And while I'm doing that, I'm on a little GBL myself. So yeah, let's get into this. And yeah, man, this shit makes you real giddy. It actually acts on your dopamine receptors a lot more, releases a lot more dopamine. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So yeah, I had recently got 14-BDO again, but I had ran out. But the first time I had gotten this shit and I got my hands on it was a year ago, matter of fact, in September of 2023. That's when I first got my hands on 14-BDO. Don't get me wrong, this shit's pretty addicting. And the first time I got GHB was back in 2020, the end of 2020. So yeah, I was already experienced with GHB, and the last time I had it, like legit GHB, was end of 2021, like beginning of 2022. So yeah, it's been a while since I've had an authentic GHB, but I don't need it no more because I have GBL. And then I have 14-BDO to fall back on. However, I ran out of that, but it's whatever. I'll get it again, but I'm not really wanting to. And that stuff could be pretty addicting. You know, don't get me wrong. So you really have to be careful because the stuff is very euphoric, okay? And 14-BDO has the slowest onset. GHB is like right in the middle, and the GBL is like the quickest, right? However, GBL doesn't last as long. Lasts up to like 3 hours, and once you get a tolerance, that shit's wearing off really quick. So you might start dosing every hour. In the beginning of GBL, you gotta be really careful with that shit because it could really fuck you up really bad, like meaning it can knock you out and render you comatose. And if someone sees you like that and they don't know what you're doing or what you're up to, yeah, you already know what's gonna happen, and you're gonna be in the hospital with something down your dick. Who would want that? So be realistic, don't do that shit in that kind of like abuse potential. It has a high abuse potential, so yeah, this is why it's very illegal. However, it's better than alcohol in every fucking way and way more euphoric. I actually had been doing it the last 3 or 4 days, right when I wake up or right when I go to sleep, and I've had really next to no hangover except maybe the first like 1 or 2 nights. But after that, it's weird. All of a sudden it started metabolizing better. And I think it was the lack of sleep. But basically, I started getting better sleep on it. And yeah, honestly, if this was alcohol, I'd be feeling like shit by the 3rd day. But I managed to go 4 nights in a row using this shit, and it really gave no hangover. Come down, now that's another story. We're going to find out. But from personal experience, GHB doesn't really have a come down unless you're doing it every day. That's when it's going to have a come down, and it's kind of like an emotional, like depressing kind of, almost like a come down, like from a stimulant, because it's also like sort of a stimulant. This drug is kind of stimulating in the weirdest way, and it's because of the dopamine rebound that it has. And it's kind of similar how to benzos have it, like the glutamate rebound. That's what benzos have. This has a dopamine and glutamate rebound as well. So yeah, you're going to be pretty excitatory once it wears off. And once you work up a tolerance, you're gonna be pretty alive. And the weirdest thing about this shit, I actually lost some weight doing this shit 4 nights in a row as well, and it's been helping. I don't know what's going on, but it's like been toning my muscles better, and I'm getting like that bodybuilder effect out of it. And they say that shit really doesn't like do much. It might slightly increase growth hormone, but I'm really thinking it's probably due to the REM increase of the substance. That's what makes the drug feel like it's a performance enhancer, because the more REM sleep you get, you're gonna wake up a lot more rejuvenated, a lot more energetic. You're gonna be feeling alive, you're gonna be feeling good, and your mood's not gonna be low. So yeah, it enhances your REM sleep. I was having the craziest dreams on this shit, and yeah, consistently too. So every time I'd fall back to sleep, I was having a deep ass dream. And I really like that shit. And that was with all of them. 14-BDO, GHB, GBL, they all do the same. However, GBL is the most euphoric. 14-BDO is probably it's kind of right there with GHB because they're very, very similar. You know, it converts into GHB. So yeah, GBL obviously ranks as the highest euphoric GHB conversion substance, if you want to put it like that. But 1,4-BDO is the least, I guess you could say, because GHB would act faster. So something that acts faster is usually a little more euphoric, you know, right off the bat. So 1,4-BDO takes a little more time to become euphoric. But don't get me wrong, this shit has almost 100% near conversion into GHB. Yeah, it's going to feel a lot of the same. However, GHB, I think, would be right in the middle of the euphoria. If you can get your hands on real GHB, that would be better than 1,4-BDO, no matter what. So, and that would only last 4 hours. But if you're trying to look for a substance that lasts the longest, that converts into GHB, that's 1,4-BDO. That shit can last up to 8 hours, okay? Because it is, you know, metabolized by alcohol dehydrogenase. And that's what converts into GHB. So, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. But keep in mind, that shit's addicting. And, yeah, the only way I ever stopped doing it was when I ran out. So, because I was using it in place of alcohol. You know, what I would usually be doing, drinking alcohol, I just use this. But, yeah, it's just very, very potent on your brain. It's such a fucking strong hypnotic. It's super euphoric, perfect mixed with really anything, except dissociatives and, you know, other downers, obviously. Opiates, don't do that. But it is very, very good with psychedelics. It is good with nitrous. That's probably about the only dissociative you should be able to do with this, because all the other ones, they kind of act like a downer. So yeah, don't be doing any dissociative besides, I guess, nitrous, because that shit wears off within like a few minutes. You're not going to have a bad time combining that with 1,4-BDO, and I've done it plenty of times. So nitrous is the only dissociative you could do with 1,4-BDO, GHB, or GBL. However, psychedelics are a great combo, and stimulants are a great combo as well. But don't overdo that, because if that wears off the GHB and the stimulant's still in your system, and then maybe you took more redose or something because maybe the GHB was kind of, you know, counteracting it. Or maybe you took more, whichever which, you know, whatever one that you took, or the one that you took in the beginning of the night, that one's going to wear off, and whatever drug you took after that is going to still be in your system. Please keep that in mind, and, you know, that way you won't have to run the risk of overdosing, because you don't want to take too much of one and the other one wears off. And then that counteracting, that kind of like the balance wears off, and then you're like hit with like a, you know, one drug side effect. So you got to be careful. So yeah. But yeah, back to the way the euphoria feels. So this feels like a benzo kind of like euphoria, except way better. Like benzos wish they could do this shit. It's kind of like similar to alcohol's dizzy fucking wavy feeling that it hits you with, you know, after a while of drinking, or if you drink all at once, you know, it's kind of similar to that. But like GBL on an empty stomach, by the way, oh man, that shit felt like a fucking dissociative, man. I was so like hypnotic. Oh man, like I knocked the fuck out like within an hour or two. That shit's so fucking strong on an empty stomach, and that's usually the way you should take it. And 1,4-BDO as well. You don't want to take that on a full stomach. You want to take that on an empty stomach, because yeah, obviously you know why, because it's just not gonna hit the hard. But 1,4-BDO is kind of weird where you have to take it on empty stomach. It's really just not effective on a full stomach, and I've tested that theory a lot. It's not really a theory, it's kind of the truth. And same it goes with GBL. You want to take that on an empty stomach, trust me, because the way it's going to hit you, you're going to get way more out of it, you know. And if you take with a full stomach, or yeah, here right after you eat, it's going to absorb into the food, and then it's going to take longer, because now you have to wait for the food to absorb back into your body. So yeah, skip that shit and take it on empty stomach. You know, it's kind of similar to like drinking alcohol on empty stomach, which is really bad. But yeah, it's a very quick way to black out as well. So you got to be careful. It's not for the faint of heart, and don't take my words for advice. Don't even do this shit. Don't even do it. You know, it's too addictive. Can't trust that. And got to be careful. And this is coming from someone that's very, very much experienced. So, but yeah. You want to keep it to weekends if you are going to have a good, you know, habit of use. However, be careful, because that can trail off into something else, and then you're doing way too much. But yeah, so yeah, the euphoria of these substances all combined, they're all essentially the same. However, GBL is more euphoric. I would say maybe 2 or 3 times more euphoric than GHB or 1,4-BDO. So yeah, but they're all very good. They all serve a great purpose, and they're all not toxic like alcohol, except 1,4-BDO could be liver toxic because of that alcohol dehydrogenase, so please watch out about using that one. But GHB, GBL, I mean, it's already endogenous in the body, so it gets out of the body like real fast, like a good fucking drug. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, the euphoria of these substances cannot be undisputed, and they're on a top tier of my downer list, and never going to be forgotten about. I love them to death. And that's why I have to have a good habit of use with them and not abuse. So yeah, please keep in mind if you guys are going to be using these substances. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. stay high, stay lifted, and I'll see you guys in the next one.